Good afternoon, and welcome to my garden, or in this case, we're going to actually talk about something in the kitchen. As we grow our garden, and we will at times have more produce than we need. We have way more tomatoes than we need. What do we do with them? We can can them as tomatoes or tomato juice. We can freeze them. One thing I like to do is make some tomato marmalade. This is tomato marmalade. Tomatoes and sugar and spice, and lemons and oranges in there. It's cooked till it's thick. Good stuff on your morning toast. Right there. Marmalade doesn't just have to be oranges or lemons. But here's the one we're going to really talk about. This is tomato jam. I think it's not common anymore. It was when I was growing up. But it's made from tomatoes and raisins, vinegar, brown sugar, spices. It's cooked. It's a long process. It takes about 3 hours, a little more usually, because we want to get it to this thick state. And this is one we can use as a filling in our biscuit to make like a mincemeat filled biscuit, on our morning toast, on bread. It's just a good all around product. If you like mincemeat, the old fashioned mincemeat with meat in it, you're probably going to like this. Just think of this as a mincemeat without the meat. And it's quite a simple recipe. The recipe I use does come out of the Kerr Canning book, 1958 edition of the Kerr Canning book. And it is the same recipe that I have in the 1930s book as well. So it hasn't changed much. So keep that in mind when you are processing it. They will say in this older books to just complete the seal or seal these while hot. We do recommend nowadays to not open kettleless anymore, but they do recommend a boiling water bath. And consult your canning or preserving book for appropriate time to do so. That's quite simple to do. And this recipe, and I will write these amounts down in the description here. I'm just going to get ready this off here for you quickly. 5 pounds of ripe tomatoes, or 11 cups quartered. 5 cups of brown sugar. 1 tablespoon each of whole cloves, allspice, and stick cinnamon. And I like to use around a tablespoon and a half of chopped ginger in that as well, because I like ginger in it. 2.5 cups of vinegar. You can use either a white vinegar or a apple cider vinegar, and I prefer the apple cider vinegar in this. And 3 cups of seedless raisins, or as this has 2 cups of dried red currants and 1 cup of raisins. We can play with these recipes a bit and make something. Once we get the basics down, we can change things a little bit, figure them out, and make it more to our own taste. But the directions for this recipe is we cut the tomatoes into pieces after peeling, add sugar and vinegar, and the spices tied in a cheesecloth. I make a little spice bag, and I put the ginger in that spice bag as well. Boil slowly for 2 hours. Add the raisins chopped. We want to chop them raisins up, cut them up a little bit, and boil for another hour longer, or until thick. This can sometimes take longer than what this recipe calls for. Remove the spices and pour into sterilized jars and seal while hot. And we do seal nowadays with the boiling water bath canner. Or you could actually even use a pressure canner if you know. But seal it like you would any other jam. And that's our tomato jam. Y'all go out and have a good day. Try something new. Get your hands dirty. Have fun. And above all, keep growing.